Sp4zie and plenty.
Hello YouTube, Sp4zie coming right at you. It's time for another champion preview. This time around we're taking a look at EKKO, the boy who shattered time. We loved the cinematic thing that Riot released. It was awesome. And it's nice that the reveal was so close to it and that we're already getting the chance to play around with him on the PBE. Things might change a little bit, but overall this should be how the abilities play out when he's live. So let's dive into it and let's make sure it all makes sense. Starting out with a passive, it's called Z Drive Resonance, and it's kind of a Vayne-ish passive. You build 3 stacks with auto attacks on targets, and the third hit will deal bonus AP damage, nice scaling on that too. It'll slow the opponent, and if the target is a champion, it will also provide EKKO with a nice movement speed buff. Now, you should consider this at the same level of a Diana passive, I'd say, because it's really strong late game when you build some AP. So the third stack is going to be a lot of damage, and you want to count that into everything, especially the Q, which we'll look at right now. It's called Time Winder, and the first look's gonna be, hey, it's like a Sivir boomerang blade, right? And I guess there's some similarities, but it actually slows the target, which is important, and it also doesn't travel the entire distance. It stops at the first champion it hits. Now, most importantly, this has the chance to apply 2 stacks of your passive on the way there and on the way back, which is super important for his entire combo and his entire kit in general. The W is called Parallel Convergence, fancy name. And it has a very important passive, which is that basic attacks will deal bonus magic damage to targets with less than 30% health. And this basically tells you that you're gonna be looking for lower health targets to assassinate during teamfights, right? And then there's the actual ability, and you throw out this little bubble, which takes 3 seconds, quite an extensive time, before it actually appears. If enemies are in the bubble, they will get slowed, and if EKKO is in the bubble or enters it after it appears, he will gain a shield, and enemies will be stunned. So for instance, if you're already fighting and you toss this bubble out on top of both you and the target will be instantly stunned and you will gain the shield. Now let's say you're trying to catch up to someone, you throw out the bubble, it hits them, they will only be slowed, but then you can run, you can dash, you can even flash into the bubble to proc the stun. I think this ability is probably the one that is gonna be what you want to master in order to be efficient, because a lot of the times you're probably gonna use this to zone enemies, to put them where you want them position-wise, and maybe not actually getting the stun, but getting the impact of the stun being there. On a side note, it also gives you vision, which is super nice. His E is pretty straightforward. It's called Phase Dive, although not with F, which is a shame. I would love that. Because basically that's what you do. You dive onto someone's face. Now when you press it, it's a short little dash, kind of like Graves. But for a short while afterwards, you get this opportunity to right-click on a target and basically just like instantly teleport to them and deal extra damage. It feels very much like Rengar when he's in a brush. The ultimate is called Chrono Break, and it's the time rewind extravaganza. When you activate it, you travel back to where you were 4 seconds ago. And if you've taken any damage during those 4 seconds, you get healed for that and a little bit of an extra amount. So straight off the bat, you're gonna think, hey, I go in and I do a lot of damage and then I dash out with the ult. And sure, that is one way to use it and probably a very common way that you are gonna use it as well. But that being said, when he reappears, he also deals a massive AoE magic damage nuke. So if you can use it aggressively, it'll be a very impactful spell indeed. Now, whenever this ultimate is off cooldown, there will be this little ghost that indicates where you will reappear. And mind you, the enemies can see this as well. And that might be surprising to some, but when you think of it, you kind of want to be able to counterplay this, right? And you need to see it if you're going to be able to do that. So if you were to paint a dream scenario, it would probably be that EKKO goes into a team fight, he survives for more than 4 seconds, so the ghost actually catches up to the team fight, then you activate it, you regain all the life you lost during that fight, and you deal a chunk of damage to everyone near you. And on a last little fun side note, if you recall and buy really quickly, you can actually press the ultimate to get a free teleport back to the lane. Pretty darn handy. Some final words. Usually, as you guys probably know, I'm very psyched about almost all champions that comes out, and EKKO is no exception. But what I like the most is that unlike, I don't know, Azir, he still doesn't feel that far out. Honestly, I felt like lately Riot has just been overdoing it a little bit. Not that that isn't good, but it does feel nice that after just one custom game, I feel like this champion won't take ages to master, and he's an assassin, and I haven't played assassins in a long time, and I kind of like it. It's nice. And that's gonna be it for this champion preview. If you did enjoy it, feel free to drop a little like, and also, as always, let me know what you think about this champion in the comments below. It's gonna be OP? Of course, yes, it's a new champion, just like Bard. Wait, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. I release 3 videos a week, mostly League of Legends related. You won't be disappointed. And that's gonna be it. I'll see you next time. This has been Sp4zie, and I am out. Dudes!